archaeological findings prove the accuracy of Scripture, not its inaccuracy.
That is very true.
Because I think a lot of us live
true.
in fear that the more that gets discovered, the more inaccurate the Bible appears. But your argument is just the opposite.
Just the
so
opposite.
we just have 2 minutes. Just
I know. I wish I had an hour now, and I could just trot out one example after another.
So.
Yeah, but it's true. Every year we find something else. What archaeology overwhelmingly shows is, hey, the Gospels are talking about the real world of Jesus. And in some cases we make finds that are stunning confirmations of certain details. But in general, archaeology just shows that the Gospels have verisimilitude. They really are talking about a real place, a real time, real people, real events. And it was right there, the time of Jesus.
Okay, so you had told me earlier that archaeologists actually use the Bible to figure out where to dig.
Yeah, you won't find an archaeologist in Israel digging without reference to Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the book of Acts, and Josephus, the Jewish historian. Those are the key texts. No archaeologist uses the Gospel of Thomas or the Gnostic Gospels. They'd be laughed out of the discipline. They use the Gospels because they have found them to be reliable. They know where to dig and how to interpret what they dig up. And that's just the way it is. They may be Jewish, they may be agnostic, they may be Christian, of any stripe. It doesn't matter. They all use Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, book of Acts. I can prove that. If you want an example of that, a book edited by James Charlesworth, professor at Princeton Theological Seminary. Okay, so not some podunk school, Princeton, James Charlesworth, and it's entitled Jesus and Archaeology. 31 contributors, 8 or 9 of them Jewish, not Christian at all, about 10 of them professional archaeologists, the rest either Bible scholars or historians. You turn to the back, the index of the ancient texts that are cited in doing the work. The Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the book of Acts are cited over 1,000 times in this book. The Gnostic Gospels are never cited at all. That's the evidence that I'm talking about.
So how much of what contemporary archaeology is unearthing is at odds with the Bible, disproves the Bible's account of things?
Now, I can't think of a single example. There are lots and lots of stories in the Bible on which archaeology has shed no light yet, but there's lots of stuff. By the way, we've only excavated 5% of the biblical world. And most of those sites are only 10 to 20% excavated. So it's just a sample. And as we keep digging and keep looking, and it's going to go on for who knows how many centuries, as we keep going, we just, that's right. Oh, we used to think, some skeptics used to think that was a myth. Oh, it turns out it's a real thing. And that's the steady progress. Archaeology is only, in a modern scientific sense, just a little over 100 years old.
So this is the part that really surprised me. That the more historians and archaeologists discover, the more accurate the Bible appears.
It is. And if we had time, I could tell you about the minimalists. People would say, oh, there was no King David. Samuel and Kings are just, that's a mythological kingdom. They have been terribly embarrassed the last 20 years because we have found an ancient inscription by the Syrians, not the Israelites, referring to King David. And the excavations in Jerusalem and elsewhere continue to show that these old stories in the books of Samuel and Kings actually are talking about real things.
Wow.